On this week's episode of the Rambler Sports Locker, the men's basketball team is a conference champ for the first time in over 30 years. And Esther Leisha and her Ramble analysts discuss Louisville men's basketball.
Also, the women's basketball team squeaked out a win over the number 4 team in the MVC. And Blazer Dosevich tells us what he liked and didn't like this week in sports.
Welcome back to this week's episode of the Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Henry Redmond.
And I'm Megan Delacruz.
The men's basketball team took on the University of Evansville with the chance to clinch at least a share of the MVC regular season title February 18th. Both teams struggled on the offensive side for stretches, and the Aces took a 28-27 lead into halftime. The second half continued to go back and forth, but Loyola's strong defense down the stretch and some timely buckets gave the Ramblers a 76-66 win. The game was tied 7 times and the lead changed 16 times. The Ramblers were looser with the ball than they've been all season. The team's 19 turnovers are tied for the second most this season. Loyola was led by redshirt junior guards Marcus Towns with 22 points and Clayton Custer with 17. The Ramblers took on second-place Southern Illinois University February 21st in Carbondale. The Ramblers needed to win in order to clinch the outright MVC regular season championship and end the Salukis' hopes at being co-champions. The pressure didn't seem to get to the Ramblers as they came out with a 10-2 run and didn't look back from there. Loyola took an 8-point lead into halftime but opened the second half with another run of 10-3. The Ramblers allowed just 20 points in the second half and won the game 75-56. The Ramblers clinched their first conference championship since 1984-85 and its first in the MVC. Post-game, Loyola head coach Porter Moser revealed he had been wearing an MVC champion shirt under his dress shirt the whole game. The team celebrated its first title in over 30 years in the SIU locker room and seemed to have a good time. RSL reporter Haley Spittler sat down with Custer in this week's player profile.
Redshirt junior guard Clayton Custer has played basketball for as long as he can remember, and he has a particular family member to thank for that.
My older brother kind of taught me a lot of what I know, and he was a lot older than me too, so he was kind of already into playing basketball and doing all that stuff, played baseball as well, so like right as soon as I could start walking, he kind of like put the ball in my hand and wanted to play with me and stuff.
While Custer followed in his brother's footsteps with sports, he decided not to do the same when it came to what to study in college.
Dad and my brother are doctors, and their way of helping people is through the medical field, and I saw my brother go through medical school and did not want to go to medical school because it looked awful. So I figured the best way for me to help people is to try to help them manage their money and stuff like that. So that's the route I went.
Custer ultimately chose to major in finance when transferring to Loyola from Iowa State after his freshman year. He says Loyola has helped him grow in more ways than one.
Academic-wise, I've just grown up as a person, and the coaches have helped me do that. They're always pushing me to be a better person and a better student and a better athlete, so I give a lot of credit to them.
That growth can be seen in the 3 times Custer has been awarded Scholar Athlete of the Week this year and the 14.7 points per game he has averaged this season. However, that success briefly came to a stop when his leg was injured during the December 6th upset against then-ranked number 5 University of Florida. The journey to getting back on the court wasn't just physical, but also mental.
You got to get used to the speed of the game again. Everything kind of seems fast right away, like it seems like everybody's moving really fast. But then the game started to slow down again, and I started to feel more like myself. And then 2 or 3 games into it, I started to feel pretty much normal out there on the court. So
games like the one in Florida require a lot of traveling. Custer fills that time by watching Stranger Things and catching up on his sleep. However, when he's at home, he likes to fill his spare time by challenging his friends to his favorite video game.
We have Guitar Hero in our apartment, and we play all the time. And I would challenge anybody to a Guitar Hero battle because I can play a little bit of Guitar Hero.
While Custer prides his individual success in Guitar Hero, he doesn't have the same individual goals for basketball. For him, it's all about being the best team they can be and winning the most games they can. And they have certainly done a lot of winning this season. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Haley Spiller.
On Friday, February 16th, the women's basketball team took on the Missouri State Bears in Gentile Arena. The Ramblers were off to a slow start at the beginning of the game as they struggled defensively. Loyola went scoreless for over 6 minutes until Kat Nolan made the first shot of the game, cutting Missouri State's lead 8-2. The Bears stayed in front, opening a 35-29 lead at the end of halftime. The Ramblers and the Bears were neck-to-neck switching leads during the second half, but Missouri State held Loyola scoreless again for 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, ending the game on an 18-5 run. The Ramblers lost the Bears 69-58. On Sunday, February 18th, the women's basketball team earned themselves a 62-53 victory against the Southern Illinois Salukis in Gentile Arena. Graduate student guard Jessica Serta tied a season high with 19 points. SIU kept it close in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't enough to overcome Loyola. The women's basketball team is now 6-19 overall and 4-10 in conference play. They're looking for their second win in a row, February 23rd in Evansville, Indiana, against the University of Evansville Purple Aces. A lot has happened in the last week in sports, and RSL reporter Blaze Radosevic is here to break it all down on this week's Fired Up.
Hi, I'm Blaze Radosevic, and welcome to this week's Fired Up, where we'll discuss 2 things I liked and 2 things I didn't like from this past week in sports. Let's start with the bad. Number 1, the Chicago Blackhawks. The dynasty is officially over, folks. The Blackhawks have dropped 13 of their last 17 games, including a 6-1 loss at the hands of the worst team in hockey, the Arizona Coyotes. Now, this begs 2 questions. Number 1, how on earth do they play hockey in Arizona? And 2, should the Blackhawks just tank for a better draft pick? Trailing by 11 points for the final spot in the Western Conference playoffs, I think they should. Number 2, the Russian dopers at the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, specifically Russian curler Alexander Krushelnitsky. When you test positive for meldonium after winning a bronze medal in curling, you have to make this list. I mean, come on, your country is already disqualified. The Olympic Committee gave you a second chance to compete as an Olympic athlete from Russia, and you still got caught doping? As a curler? Pathetic. All right, now let's shift gears and talk about what I did like from this week. First, the NBA All-Star Game. Bravo, Adam Silver, bravo. The most progressive league in American sports just delivered the best All-Star game we've seen in years, with Team LeBron defeating Team Stephen 148-145. After last year's 192-182 joke of a game, it was a welcome sight to see the NBA's best competing on both ends of the floor for the full 48 minutes. Next year, though, please televise the draft. I really want to see that. And finally, let's talk about our Loyola men's basketball team, the 2017-2018 Missouri Valley regular season conference champs. For Loyola, it's their first regular season conference title in 31 years. And at 24-5, they'll be the number 1 seed in next week's Missouri Valley Conference tournament. With 3-point shooters up and down the lineup, a stifling defense, and head coach Porter Moser at the controls, heading into March, it's never been a better time to be a Rambler. That's it for this week's Fired Up. I'm Blaze Radosevic. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Blaze. The Loyola men's volleyball team took on number 14 Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne, February 16th in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Ramblers won the match 3-2 for their 8th straight win. Junior outside hitter Colin Mahan led the charge for the team with 18 kills. Loyola is now 6-2 this season against teams in the American Volleyball Coaches Association Top 15 poll. The next day, on February 17th, the Ramblers headed to Muncie, Indiana to take on Ball State University. The win streak would end at 8 as the Ramblers didn't have enough to take down the Cardinals, losing the match 3-1. The match was closer than the final score. Each set was decided by 5 or less points. Ball State won the first set 34-32. The Ramblers were once again led by Mahan, who notched 17 kills. The team is now 8-18 in Muncie all time. The Ramblers moved to 10-3 on the season and 3-1 in MIVA play. Following the loss to Ball State, the Ramblers, who were ranked number 6 in the AVCA poll, dropped to number 8. But it wasn't all bad news for the Ramblers. Mahan, who had 35 kills in the last 2 games, won MIVA Offensive Player of the Week. The Ramblers will be back in Gentile Arena when they play McKendree University February 23rd and The Ohio State University February 24th. The number 8 ranked men's volleyball team is working together on the court, but how well do they know each other off of it? RSL reporter Haley Spittler finds the answer in this week's teammate game.
Welcome to this week's Teammates game. I'm joined today with Paul Narup and Marcus Melbardis of the men's volleyball team. So we're going to see which one of you guys knows the other one better. Our first question is, where is Paul from?
Where's Paul from?
All right.
Let's put St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Good work,
That
kid.
is a
Absolutely.
match. That is a point. Next, we're going to find out what Marcus's middle name is.
Good luck with this one.
I actually know this.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how to spell it though, so forgive me, but I spelled it wrong, but I got it right.
Andis.
Andis.
yeah.
What is Paul's favorite restaurant?
Oh,
Favorite
yes.
place to eat?
Oh man.
This is a softball. Taco Bell.
What is Marcus's biggest pet peeve?
Oh. There's no way this is right.
Ooh, that's definitely one of them, though. I said leaving the lights on.
Leaving the lights on?
Chewing with your mouth
Okay,
open.
those are both pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Usually you don't do it, but our other two roommates, Dan and Colin, are pretty bad about leaving all the electronics on when we leave the house.
That's frustrating when that bill comes.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you're like, that could have been lower.
Right?
What is Paul's go-to Guitar Hero song?
Oh, really?
Ooh, I heard you
okay.
guys like to play Guitar Hero.
I don't know if you really have a go-to.
Maybe is there a song he's really good at? That'd be
No,
nice.
not really, though.
Not really good at it.
This is a complete guess.
All right, what do we have?
Slow ride.
All
It's
right.
the first song in the game.
Exactly.
What is Marcus's all-time favorite movie?
Oh, no.
See, I know it better than you do.
This answer's actually right.
This is right?
I couldn't even think of that. I said Step Brothers, but Blazing Saddles is absolutely.
All right, we'll give it a point then. What is Paul's major?
Yeah, software engineering.
Software
Yeah.
engineering.
Good work, kid.
Got it. That's a point.
All right, what is Marcus's favorite song of the moment? Right now, what are you really jamming to?
This is a tough one.
This is
Just
a tough one?
Just personally, this is a tough one.
Yeah. There it
Did you
is.
get it? Yeah, did you ever? There he is.
That is a match. Well, that's it for this week's teammate game. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Haley. This past Saturday, February 17th, the Ramblers closed out their indoor season as they sent athletes to both the Alex Wilson Invitational in South Bend, Indiana, and the Panther Tune-Up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. At the Alex Wilson Invitational, sophomore Octavian Wells moved to third on Loyola's all-time indoor running board, running 21.72 seconds in the 200-meter. Freshman Tyler Elmore also performed well in the 200-meter, knocking down a personal best of 22.10 seconds. Freshman Vince Devenir and junior Elijah Olich both set personal bests in the 400-meter. Olich bested his by 2 seconds with a time of 48.66. Devenir followed close behind at 49.44, placing fifth. Out on the field, senior Kiara Washburn claimed the long jump title with a leap of 5.63 meters. With the men's triple jump, freshman Gift Chinda made a personal best of 14.33 meters, earning second place. At the Panther Tune-Up, senior Paulina Gale came in first in shot put with a heave of 13.19 meters. Senior Stephen Habona earned himself a victory in the weight throw with a loss of 17.53 meters. On the track, sophomore Aaron Laird took first overall in the 3,000-meter run with a time of 10 minutes 33.2 seconds. Loyola will travel to Cedar Falls, Iowa next weekend, February 24th and 25th, to begin the 2018 Missouri Valley Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships.
The Louisville men's basketball team had its 2013 national championship taken away by the NCAA.
Esther Leisha and her Ramble analysis discuss whether or not the punishment fit the crime in this week's Ramble.
Hello and welcome to this week's Ramble. I'm Esther Leisha and I'm here with Claire Philpy and Sebastian James. This week we'll be talking about the Louisville basketball scandal. The team was stripped of their 2013 NCAA championship title this week. Was this justifiable? Claire, let's start with you.
I don't think that it was justifiable. Although I don't endorse prostitution, stripping Louisville of their titles is absolutely ridiculous when a school like UNC still has their titles.
Good point.
Okay, so a program that buys prostitutes for the men's college basketball program, it's indefensible. Employees that get caught misusing corporate funds get fired. Public officials that get caught spending money on prostitutes get put
But
out.
okay, but UNC who is having tutors do their students' homework and having student athletes take classes that don't even exist. You're telling me that they didn't get stripped of their NCAA titles because they're basically giving students A's. You're saying that they can keep their titles, but people who weren't even involved in this, like the student athletes, some of the student athletes who competed in the 2013 championship, they weren't even involved in it. They didn't know what was going on. So you're telling me that they need to lose their titles, but these students who were having somebody else do their homework, they don't have to lose theirs?
So as we all know, the NCAA is the patron of not being a perfect
NCAA 's
organization.
stupid.
So I'm not here to talk about UNLV, even though I agree with what you're saying on UNLV.
Right, but it's the same
topic
circumstances.
Is Louisville.
Now, Claire.
The topic is Louisville.
But it's the same exact thing.
Louisville's behavior cannot
No, it wasn't
be-
Louisville's behavior. It was the coach and the athletic director who are both gone now.
The coach and the athletic
Are
director
both gone. So
are
why
both
still
gone.
Right, so
the
why
players
still punish
are
the
still
players?
there because someone has to pay other than the coach.
But that's not fair to
and-
have. Okay, but listen to me. So you're telling me you worked your entire life to go to the NCAA championship, and you want to go to Louisville, your dream school, and now they have a 4-year suspension, and you can never win a championship for those 4 years. So you're telling me that that's the okay thing?
Now, Claire, some of those players were ineligible to play, though, proven. So
Yes, but there
Does that
is
make a difference?
Still, there is still athletes on that team that were eligible and who did deserve and earn to play.
all right, final thoughts.
So, number one, the program, the coaches in the program, the people who are supposed to administer the coaches in the program, all are implicit in using money, school and public money, to buy prostitutes for college basketball players. This cannot be excused.
Okay, but you have a person who's in a position of power, like a coach or an athletic director, giving you these gifts, and you as a student, it has been your dream, your life's dream, to win an NCAA title. And you're telling me that you're going to say, oh no, sorry, I'm not going to take your gifts and possibly hinder your chances of playing or winning a title? I just think it's crazy. I think it's ridiculous that they were stripped of their titles. They deserve them, and they worked hard for them. You can't take away the memories, you can't take away the t-shirts, the rings, anything. It's still there. You only can take away the banner.
And that's all they did, was take away the banner,
All
as
right.
well as the shame.
You both had some really good points. This week I'm going to have to go with you, Claire. But that's all for this week's Ramble. If you want to get in on the conversation, you can use the hashtag RSL Ramble. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Esther. I got to say, we watched the 2013 National Championship happen. We know that Louisville won. I don't know if you can really take that away.
For our full episodes and the chance to get in on the conversation, follow and like our social media handles for an up-to-date look at all things Rambler Sports.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Henry Redmond.
And I'm Megan Dela Cruz. Check back next week for another episode of the Rambler Sports Locker.
And as always, don't forget to turn out the lights.